Cultivating Concerns. The nutritional value of the food we consume has been a subject of much debate and concern. Over the years, numerous studies have revealed that the nutrient content of common crops has declined. A significant study conducted in 2004, examining 43 types of garden crops, found startling changes in their nutritional makeup from 1950 to 1999. This research showed an average decrease of about 6% in protein levels, a 15% reduction in vitamin C, and an astonishing 38% drop in vitamin B2. Furthermore, essential minerals such as iron and calcium were also found to be diminishing. These findings, however, are not without controversy. The accuracy of nutrient measurements from the 1950s is questionable, which raises doubts about the reliability of these comparisons. Despite these uncertainties, there is a growing concern that our current diets may be less nutrient-rich than those of previous generations. This pattern of nutrient decline is not isolated and has been corroborated by several other recent studies. One of the suspected causes of this decline is soil depletion. Intensive farming practices are thought to have exhausted the soil's nutrient reserves, which would affect the nutritional quality of the plants grown. However, this theory is met with skepticism, as modern farming techniques often include the use of fertilizers and other methods to replenish soil nutrients. This has ensured that crop sizes remain large, suggesting that the necessary nutrients are still present in the soil. Another potential factor behind the nutrient decline is selective breeding. Over the centuries, crops have been genetically modified to enhance certain desirable traits, such as yield, size, pest resistance, and climate adaptability. Corn, for example, has undergone such extensive selective breeding that its current form is vastly different from its wild ancestors. This raises the question, in the process of enhancing certain traits, have we inadvertently bred out essential nutrients? Determining the impact of selective breeding on nutrient content is challenging due to the difficulty in comparing modern crops with their historical counterparts. To address this, researchers have turned to plants that have not been affected by selective breeding, such as the wildflower goldenrod in North America. This plant, which is a key protein source for bees but not cultivated by humans, has remained genetically unaltered. The Smithsonian Institute holds samples of goldenrod pollen dating back to 1842, allowing for a unique comparison between historical and modern samples. Astonishingly, a 30% reduction in protein content was discovered in the modern goldenrod pollen compared to samples from over a century ago. An unexpected contributor to this nutritional decline could be the rising levels of carbon dioxide, or CO2, in the atmosphere. Plants absorb CO2, which facilitates their growth. Over the past few centuries, atmospheric CO2 levels have surged from approximately 280 parts per million to over 400 parts per million. This increase, though seemingly slight, has had a significant impact on plant growth. The phenomenon, known as the greening of the planet, can be observed from space and has been extensively studied through free air carbon dioxide enrichment, or FACE experiments. These experiments have shown that while higher CO2 levels lead to faster growing crops, the nutritional quality of these plants does not necessarily improve. Instead, there is a tendency for these plants to have higher carbohydrate content, but reduced protein, iron, and zinc levels. This shift in nutrient composition has given rise to what is known as the dilution effect, where increased growth leads to lower concentrations of nutrients. The implications of this trend are profound. By 2050, it is estimated that up to 150 million people in the developing world could face protein deficiencies due to the decreased protein levels in staple foods. This raises concerns about the potential need for dietary supplements in the future. However, the current nutrient declines are still considered small enough that a well-balanced diet, rich in fruits and vegetables, should suffice for most people. Another worrying aspect of this nutritional shift is its possible contribution to the obesity epidemic. The theory posits that as protein levels in food decrease, people might need to consume more food overall to meet their protein requirements, inadvertently increasing their intake of carbohydrates and fats. This could potentially lead to weight gain, though there are arguments about this theory. The evolving atmospheric conditions, particularly the rise in CO2 levels, are altering the nutritional composition of our foods. This change is not just a matter of agricultural concern, but also a public health issue. As the planet continues to experience shifts in its climate and environment, understanding and addressing the impact on our food's nutritional value becomes increasingly urgent.